Did you have a favorite drill as a junior?
Yes, I did. Very simple one, which everybody despises is...
If you've ever wondered what sort of drills Grand Slam champions did as juniors, or what goes through their head before stepping onto the match court, then you're in the right place. As in this video, I'm sharing with you an uncut conversation that I had with former world number 3 and US Open champion, Marin Cilic. Now, this conversation was organized by Head and was only supposed to be around 10 minutes long. In fact, you can see a short version of this video over on their channel, but I had to share this with you, so Head kindly sent me the footage so that I could share you the uncut version. And so grab a cuppa and get comfortable, as you're not going to want to miss this one. Let's go.
Haha, what's up, man?
Hey Marin, how's it going?
Great. Good to meet you, buddy.
You too, mate. You too. How was practice?
Practice was good.
Yeah?
Interesting today, because this is the coldest day ever in New York in August. It's always burning hot.
And as a Croatian man, you've got to be used to the hotter weather, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially from my hometown. It's where I'm from. It's hot and dry, and it's these last couple of weeks has been most of the time 40 degrees. So,
Oh,
so I've been visiting my family, and it was like brutal.
So Marin, it's been 3 years since you've been here in New York. Does it bring any memories, any emotions to you?
Yeah, definitely it does. It brings a lot of emotions coming here. It's been my incredible journey throughout my career, and to win that trophy in 2014, and then I had lots of success here. I think definitely not one of my best performance in Grand Slams ever, and so always a thriller, to come here, and I love to play in New York. Atmosphere is amazing. The fans are just appreciating the tennis, the athletes, and the level of tennis, and they are supportive so much. So it's always a huge pleasure.
And on the back of kind of winning a title at any event, does it feel different stepping into that venue the next year?
It does. I mean, it's just a feeling of knowing that you won here. You are capable of doing it. You are familiar with the courts, and also even these last several days, I've been thinking, what was my game in 2014? How did I play? What was my strategy sort of coming into the tournament? How to sort of approach it? Maybe if I can take any details into putting into my game at the moment. It just, I think, just gives you a little extra edge that you know that you've been playing well here, to give you just that extra confidence.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to walk now, so you look
Okay.
like you're getting cold.
Yeah.
So take us back then to 2014 and try to kind of picture yourself before that event. Was anything different going?
Not in a huge way, I have to say. Well, I've been training well. I did, quite well during the season. I had some tough matches, tough losses to Roger in Toronto a couple of weeks before. I played Novak in French Open, in Wimbledon. Tough matches, both losses. And the year didn't feel, like extraordinary. It felt okay. I won a couple titles at the start of the year. It was, very, very, very good year. But, to feel like I'm gonna win the tournament, it didn't feel like that. So the only difference that I felt was, and that what I thought about in the week prior to the tournament, how to sort of connect my tennis from the training sessions into the matches. And it's easy to pick those words, it's easy to sort of think about it, but I was able to find the beautiful balance of playing with my instincts but playing responsibly. And so with that, I was like quite calm on the court. I had great preparation, great level, but with that little bit of that spice, it brought the natural ability for me to compete in every single match. And sort of it was going from the first match to the last. I was playing better and better and better,
And you talking about kind of how you felt really confident in the training and you wanted to translate that onto the match court. Was there anything that you did differently in your training that allowed you to feel more like you were on the match court to add a bit of pressure to your training?
Nothing unusual. I felt okay with my game. You know how it feels when you feel the ball well. And it was funny. I for the first, so I was playing Toronto Cincy, came here, and then we decided to go for the first hit on Ash Stadium in the night to just feel the conditions, because during the week, the practice week, maybe we're not gonna get a chance. So we went the first day, and I was hitting with Goran and some practice guys, and I was telling the team, I mean, it's impossible to play bad at this stadium, And they were like laughing at me, we're gonna see you at the tournament, ha ha, like this. And I said, okay, you'll see, And then when I reached the quarters, I haven't lost the set, until the end of the tournament. So I was like, you see now,
Do you think that kind of helped? Was that in the back of your head when you were playing these matches?
Not really. But it was, for me, there was the great feeling, coming onto this huge stadium. It's a beautiful atmosphere, just oasis for tennis, and you just feel the ball beautifully. And so for my game, where I need to be in a great contact to play offensive tennis, that's just a perfect combination.
And you mentioned that you had a tough loss to Federer in the lead up to the event, and then you went on to beat him in the semi-finals pretty comfortably. Do you feel that having played him fairly recently before helped you in that match?
Yes, absolutely. I played 4 or 5 times prior to that match against him, and then you feel the game, you feel what you can do, how to play, what to play, because you can't just go out. You couldn't actually, against top guys and just, close your eyes and play. You had to play with a strategy, and you had to play obviously high-level tennis. But if you didn't have a strategy, there is a very slim chance that you could win. So yeah, definitely those matches prior helped a lot.
And when it comes to kind of you looking at the draw, are you a player that likes to know who you've got in your next match, in your future matches, or do you kind of keep that until the day of the actual match?
I am mostly looking for the opponent ahead, and then I might even have a glance at the draw to see who's in my draw, and maybe I'm gonna watch during the tournament if I see a glimpse of those matches. But I don't overstress myself, with being long in a tournament, because I try to focus on the next match. And quite often what happens in tennis, sometimes you might have the toughest match that comes in, I don't know, third round or quarters, and then maybe because of the player you play against, he might not suit your game. So even having in mind, okay, this might be the toughest match that I'm gonna be against, maybe those next ones might be a touch easier. So you try to, go full on those ones.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I ask is there was an interesting situation in that tournament where you were going on court to play Federer in the semi-final, and Novak had just lost to Nishikori, I think, in the other semi. Yeah. Did you know that before going on to the match?
Of course.
And did that change your mentality?
Not really. I mean, it had even bigger impact on me winning, because up to that point, I think Roger hasn't won a slam in I don't know, 5, 6, 8 slams that he has played. So it was quite long, and probably the biggest gap that he hasn't won a slam since he started winning. And then just going onto the court with knowing that feeling of he's got Nishikori in the final, and might add extra pressure on me, that okay, even if I win, I might go to win a victory, to win all the way. And so I didn't have it too much in my mind. I was just okay, playing my instincts and keep that in line.
Whatever headspace you were in at the time, it worked beautifully. And finally, can you kind of take us to the moment of you shaking hands at the end of the match, or even hitting that last ball? What did it feel like?
I mean, just incredible. Even closing that match, it was incredible game. To serve it out, and When I won, it was just pure emotion, pure happiness, a beautiful smile at the end. And when I came to the net, Roger said incredibly beautiful words. So happy for you, buddy. And of course we know each other from the tour, but it's still rivals. How much you get into somebody's friendships. So it was still a rivalry and intense moment in the semifinals to go into the final. And that was just a beautiful moment. Yeah.
And lifting the trophy itself, I guess that brought a whole different emotion.
Yeah, that's just top of the world. When you know where you started, what you went through during all your life, many decisions, many difficulties, everything that happened, what to do, what not to do, even because tennis is extremely difficult because it just teaches you a lot about accepting losses and trying to be resilient. But we all have our difficulties and tough moments of how much you can actually absorb. And so playing in that era, and you start to think when you're a young player, you feel I've got so much time ahead of me, there's going to be a lot of chances. But when you start to play, you see the competition is unbelievable, and then the years pass, and then you feel it's going so fast. Am I going to get ever a chance to win? So that was just incredible.
And obviously you've had a couple of children since then. Have they seen any videos of you playing and lifting that trophy?
Honestly, no. I'm not sure because I wasn't showing to them. A couple of friends of mine were showing them some matches, and then they were saying, Dad, we remember when you played Rafa, he was like this, you were like that. And then but not necessarily the US Open. I gotta show them to expect to see what's their reaction.
Yeah, I mean it's funny with children and parents, they're not really realizing what you've achieved, and they probably, if you ever take them on do you take them on the tennis court?
Yeah, a lot. They love tennis. They love sports in general, but tennis they absolutely adore.
Amazing. And do they kind of pick apart your game? Because I know lots of players that have kids, they often moan, oh Dad, you're not hitting it to my forehand or whatever. How are they on court with you?
They are very competitive. They're like no training, just play points. And then if I try to sort of teach them, leave us alone, let me play.
What do you know?
Yeah, exactly. But they've got such a beautiful love to the game, and you see, also for me being on the side, even playing with them, where it all started, because when you shift towards career, when you zoom out, when you are on the tour, you are running after the victories, tournaments here, tournaments there, training here, pushing, ups and downs, negativity, positivity, all these emotions. And then at the end of the day, it's just a game that we all love, that you started to play when you were young. And okay, that's, there are different layers, different levels, but you still need to keep that to have that beautiful satisfaction that you, when you step out on the court, that you really like it, So they also teach me some and make me remember some beautiful things.
So let's fast forward to more recent times.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you had a bit of a setback a few years ago.
Yeah.
With your knee, and you had two surgeries?
2 surgeries, yes.
During those moments, obviously, that must have been the toughest moments of your career.
Mm-hmm.
How did it feel motivation-wise? Were there any moments where you doubted coming back onto the tour?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There were moments because it was extremely difficult, first mentally, because at the start I was like, okay, I need to do a surgery, went to see the doctors. How long is my recovery gonna take? 6 months, no problem, let's do it, And I was like, day one, okay, let's push, let's burn, let's go for it. And then After 4 months, I was like, okay, this is good level. And then I was able first 3 months I wasn't able to run, and then started slowly build up. And then actually the build up from running to 90% was extremely fast. Was like the body was responding beautifully. And then from 90 to 100, it was like such a hassle, unbelievable. Like the knee started to swell, so back to rehab, training again, build up again to 90%, tried to go to 100 again, up and down, tried to play a tournament, the knee blew up. And then, the doubts get in. You're not sure if, what's the solution here? Am I going to be able to play anymore? You get your hopes up, then down, then up, then down. So that was playing a lot with my mind, and definitely I had lots of ideas, that I might not be able to come back.
And was there something or someone or an anchor that kind of kept bringing you back into believing that you could come back on to the tour and play at a level that you were happy with?
There was just the feeling of mine of training. I had really good level in training, and I felt when I was hitting the balls and playing with the guys at home, that my level was like, this is amazing. I'm playing unbelievable. So I was just hoping, and my team as well, that the knee is gonna be able to hold up, so I can play like this consistently for 6 months, 12 months, next couple of years. And unfortunately that wasn't the case. And so I tried, first surgery didn't work, then I tried conservative treatments because it was quite early to do a second surgery. And then after 6 months of those conservative treatments, it helped, but not that I'm able to be on 100%. And then I did the second surgery, and that was a lifesaver for sure.
And that second surgery, did that instantly give you the belief that you were ready to make a real comeback?
Yeah, for sure. Because I did the research on my own. I have to tell you, because I was like for months and months reading about everything, the rehabs, the research, knee here, knee there, these methods, those methods. I had first surgery was on my lateral meniscus, and then the second one was supposed to be on my cartilage, which the recovery would be extremely long and difficult. And so I was like reading probably hundreds of research, what to do, what not to do. For 6 weeks I was talking with the doctors before I did the surgery, everything on my own. And that was definitely the key, for me to understand everything and to make a perfect decision to do a surgery. And luckily, I did it here in US, in Chicago, and Dr. Cole was just incredible with his work. So it gave me another chance.
Incredible. You took complete ownership of it, and it's what we try and teach the kids when we're teaching them is, own your tennis, be responsible, and take charge.
Exactly. Beautiful words.
What did you learn about yourself in those tougher moments?
I learned that, I've got this huge resilience, huge humbleness, and also respect towards sport and myself as well. Because during, we all take for granted what we do, and so for 15 plus years I was on the tour, really diligent, disciplined, never missed a training, never joked around, every match, full on. And so you're giving yourself a chance like that. And so when I was in this kind of situation, I was like, okay, I also want to give my past self another chance. It would be easy to let go now. I'm in a surgery, I'm already 35, 36, why to bother? But I wanted to give a chance to my past self that did all this during the career to put me in this position. And so, okay, I'm gonna push here and continue to be the way I was, even stronger, and to get out of this and to give myself another chance to play and to hopefully finish the way I want to.
Amazing. I mean, you've come out the back of it mentally, as you say, more resilient, stronger. It's going to help you on the match court. Physically, you know, you're feeling good now.
Yeah.
You've had an incredible run in London, beating fellow Brit. It was a big win.
True, definitely.
It was huge. I mean, that match in itself, how did that feel?
Felt amazing, you know, because that's also the thing, you know, when you play on a big court, big player. I had, you know, great feeling coming up to it because I won a challenger in Nottingham. I was already on a streak of 6-7 matches in a row, so, you know, feeling great form, great hitting. And it wasn't for me like, oh, this might be like too big of a hurdle to go over. It was just okay, you know, let me play, let me, you know, see how I'm gonna feel on the court. And, you know, luckily I was able to put up a great performance.
Huge.
Yeah.
So talking a little bit from a coach's perspective, there's a lot of life lessons that you've learned through tennis. Are there any lessons that you've learned through tennis that you would pass on to your kids?
Oh yeah, many, because tennis definitely teaches you if there is no matter the talent, if there is no hard work, it's difficult, extremely difficult. And if you're not at 100%, again, you're going to be dropping. The ranking is going to be really difficult to climb up. If you're not giving all yourself, if you're not investing all yourself, if you're lacking knowledge, it's difficult to pass through. And also, when you reach certain points, how to get better, you know, what questions to ask, what things to adapt, things like that. So I feel that tennis is teaching you great lessons for life, and to always stay humble, because if you just go above a little bit, like feeling okay, you know, I'm feeling the ball great, beautifully, I'm gonna be like, you feel comfortable, I'm gonna be winning, you know, it always hits you in the head, always. Yeah. So there is a lot of things that you have to just really do, be disciplined, professional, and look sort of in a bigger picture of setting up your goals. There are long-term goals, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. What do you want to achieve? And working day by day to reach them.
Amazing. I mean, what you just said there about being humble, it kind of relates a little bit to what you said back at the start, talking about your 2014 victory. In you didn't really have big expectations at the start of the event. It was just another normal event.
Yeah.
But you had the belief, and I think it's about balancing expectation and belief. You don't want the expectation to be too high, but the belief does need to be up there.
Oh. Watch out.
You're right.
Watch out.
Did you get the B-roll of that?
Are you okay?
You're right. Yeah? Yeah, we were just talking about
the expectation and belief.
Yeah, balancing expectation and belief. I think you summarized it already, actually.
Yeah, it must be there. It must be. You know, one thing is what are, you know, like when people ask, what are your expectations, you know, of the tournament, the expectations are to be there, that your engagement in the match is at 100%, that your mental engagement, physical, that you are there at that moment, every single moment, to, you know, give your best. What's the outcome gonna be? You know, you're not running a 100-meter run or 400, that you are just racing against time, that you have everything under your control. There's so many factors: opponent, wind, conditions, heavier, you know, like sleepless nights, you know, so many different situations. You know, you start bad, you start well, then, you know, your breakup, serving for them, you know, so many things. So in the end, you have to try to expect out of yourself that your engagement and your intensity is at the level that you need to be at to be able to perform as good as you can, you know.
Yeah.
And no other expectations.
Yeah.
Because if you do those things well, that's why you're training. You know, you're training that you're hitting the forehand. You try to do everything you can, set up, technique, watching the ball, reacting that that ball lands at the spot where you want to. But is it gonna land? Even if you do sometimes beautifully, perfectly, sometimes it doesn't land there.
Yeah.
So it's also just understanding to try to do everything you can on your own.
You've had a pretty long relationship with Head. What's kept you loyal to the brand?
The Head as a company is extremely reliable, very professional. You know, the people have the incredible knowledge, experience, and also they are very adaptive. You know, like if you whatever you need, they're gonna be there. And I was also a few years ago, I was doing the testing for my rackets because several years ago, like 6-7 years ago, just there was a shift in the tour. Where the ball started to be a little bit harder, heavier, and so I wasn't getting the feeling out of my racket as I would want to. So I did the play test in Austria, very close to the actually at the headquarters
Yeah.
of Head. And you know, I tested. They prepared, I don't know, like 15 rackets, different ones for me to test, and they were like very similar, but in just slight differences. And I picked, you know, I picked beautifully the one that I would want to, and you know, just you know, the relationship has been incredible.
Amazing. And have you actually changed the specs of your racket through your career? You know, lots of players tend to kind of maybe go for a slightly bigger head or a more open string pattern. Have you made any changes?
I did it. That happened a couple of years ago, where I went just for a touch wider head size, just to give me a little bit of extra flight on the ball and a little bit extra power. And that worked. I didn't lose control, and it gave me a little bit extra power. But in the earlier days, I played with Radical. Then I played a couple of years with Instinct. They were quite similar. And then when I moved, I kept that sort of like a combo of Radical into my Prestige, and so it's been with me since then.
Amazing.
That was in 2014, actually.
Ah, okay.
That was in 2014 when I made a shift.
Interesting. Very
Yes.
interesting. And so coming from a coaching perspective, talking a little bit about how you've maybe adapted your equipment, has your game changed, would you say, since your comeback? Have you changed anything tactically, as in your game style?
You always, of course, you always look at yourself, you know, as a player, what you can do on the court. What are your capabilities, strengths, some weaknesses? What do you want to hide in? And for me, overall, I have to say, like, even learning at this stage of my career has been really exponential. Like, you know, the technique, here and there details, and that we're just setting up nicely into my game. And so I haven't changed too much in terms of that I shifted, like, to make a bigger change. Because I still feel physically really good. I'm moving, you know, as I was moving 5-6 years ago, if not better. And you know, just I feel that's the best way for me to play.
Yeah. And about your game style and the way that you've developed, obviously, huge serve, huge forehand. The rest of your game's pretty big as well. At what point in your junior days when you were growing up did you really start to shape into this aggressive player? Were you always that way, or was it to do with the way that you were developing physically?
It came gradually, because in the first years, I remember when I worked with Bob Brett, who was an incredible mentor for me, and he set up my game beautifully to, you know, have great foundation, but then to be also I would say, you know, aggressive with control, and to sort of be controlling the points like that, and playing my game like that. And then what it took also physical abilities, you know, how to train, what to train on, in the court, out of the court, you know, all these specs that you can put into the player. And then when years started to go, when I was on the tour, there was a slight change when I started to work with Goran, you know, on the serve, just a little bit different insight of his, how he sees my game, and then when those things started to get into the spots really well, I also started to learn much more about myself, and I think that's the key, as a player, that you don't rely 100% on your coach, that it's more like a partnership where you also learn about yourself. And that's why I mentioned knowledge. Knowledge is the key. Knowledge is the key, and to learn, whenever you can, that's gonna give you a great chance.
It comes back to taking ownership of your tennis, like you
Yeah.
said earlier.
Yeah.
Last couple of questions. So, did you have a favorite drill as a junior, or a drill that you did every single session that really developed your game?
Yes, I did. Very simple one, which everybody despises, is cross-court down the lines. In earlier days, we had sessions where we had some sort of a block of maybe a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks of training, where we would do 8 sets of 50 cross-court down the line in the court, making them. And so you have to, first you work on physical abilities, also mental as well, to put every single ball in the court. Also, when you get tired, you're missing, your partner is missing on the other side, so you're not getting to the end of the exercise. And when you do one, you feel tired, and then you have to do 8, sort of. And so it's grueling exercise, but it teaches you so many good things.
For the viewers of the video, are you talking about you with a player at the other end?
Yes.
You're changing direction on every ball, and they're hitting into one corner?
No. He's running and I'm running as well.
Okay.
So everybody's running.
So both of you are doing
Yes.
one cross, one line, one cross, one line, or two cross,
so,
one line?
one person does cross, the other one line, and so you can shift.
Oh, okay. We call it the bow tie drill,
Okay.
or the butterfly drill.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
It's a good drill, and although it's not always that realistic to what you see on the match court, like you say, you're developing resilience, focus, and adds a bit of pressure as well.
Yes.
So I noticed actually the grass season, you have a slightly different setup for your serve in the way that you bounce the ball. Is that a conscious change that you've made? Is there a reason for it, or is it just something that's developed?
I think just came I don't know, naturally or somehow, where I just take maybe a half a second when I before I do a couple bounces, and then I stop for a fraction of a second, and then I do another couple, just to give myself a breather there, and to just focus into the serve, and how I when I've served my best, the focus would be there to sort of try to make every single one. Of course, it's not realistic that you're going to make every single one, but that you're there with a great focus, that just and that gives me just a piece of just calmness into going into the serve.
Yeah, a routine's important. Are you visualizing the serve before you hit it, or is it just a case of just getting your head down, really taking your time up and hit?
Yeah, I used to be automatic, I used to be just bounce, go, hit. But now, last several years, I'm more, I don't want to say mechanical, but I would say semi-automatic, maybe just fuck way. And then
so you were saying you
there's a break.
You were very automatic before, but now it's a bit more mechanical.
It's, I would say, semi-automatic now. So interesting to put it like that. But where possibly just think about a point or two on my serve, what works for me, and what I'm going to focus on.
Amazing. And final question: do you have any short-term goals or slightly longer-term goals for the future?
I do have, I would say, in terms of the longer term goals, of course, the idea is to try to win another Grand Slam, and that's behind my training, behind my routine, behind my getting up every single day. If that's going to happen, I have no idea, but that's something that gives me the spark. And shorter term, it's day-to-day things, try to do everything I can, the best I can, to still remember what wins me matches, the focus, the intensity, the just excitement being on the court, the joy of playing, and then also in training sessions, what to look for, how to sort of improve my strengths, cover my weaknesses, and these small details, but overall working to that longer term goal.
Thank you so much for your time, Marin. It's been
pleasure.
an absolute pleasure. I'm rooting for you.
Mine as well. Mine as well, Ashley.
And I'm sure everybody watching the video is rooting for you as well. But all the best.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let's go.